so this is our math class for Monday, August 17th. So we are going to, I remember on one day last week where we estimated our divisors. Remember, if we had a divisor that was like 32, we always look at the second digit, and if that second digit is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, our pretend divisor will just be the first digit. So we did that this past week. And we did really quite well on it. So here we look at the 1, we always look at the second digit, and then that tells us what to do with the first digit. We'll just use 4 there. Here if we have 53, we always look at the second digit. That tells us if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, just use our first digit 5, and so on. So today we're going to learn what to do if that second digit, our looker digit, if it's more than 4. Because right now we've said if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're just going to use our first digit for our pretend divisor. But today we're going to learn what to do if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now I have one question to ask you guys. Do you know how to add on 1 to a number? I'm pretty sure you do, because you did that in kindergarten. So as long as you can add on 1 to a number and you're able to follow a simple direction, then you got this. Because you already know how to divide, you already know how to multiply, you know the applications thereof, or we're learning them, we're getting confident in them. Some of us know it well, some of us are getting confident in it. So as long as you know how to add on 1, and as long as you can follow just one simple direction, then you're good to go. All right, so if we had a divisor, and our divisor had a number that was more than 4, we can just remember it as more than 4, such as, let's have 56 for our divisor. We always look at the second digit, it's a 6. So if our divisor is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we're going to add 1 to the digit in front of it. So we'll go to our 5, and 5 plus 1 is 6. So our pretend divisor would be 6. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's say we had a divisor that was 75. We always look at our second digit, number 5. If it's more than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we will add 1 to the digit in front of it. So 7 plus 1 is 8. So our pretend divisor would be 8. Let's say we have the number 87 as our divisor. We always look at the second digit. If it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, or if it's more than 4, then we will add 1 plus 1 to the digit in front of it. 8 plus 1 is 9. So our pretend divisor would be 9. Let's do one more. Let's do 49 is our divisor. Where do we always look? At the second digit. And if it's 4 or above, or if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we add our 1 to the first digit. It's a 9, so 4 plus 1 is 5. So that is how we estimate when our second digit in our divisor is more than 4, or 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. And this is really cool, guys, because it doesn't matter on either way. It doesn't matter how big your divisor gets, because soon this year we'll be dividing by numbers out into the hundreds. Very long division. So we always will just look at our second digit. It's always the second digit, no matter how big your divisor gets. Now we're not going to do any problems this big today. I'm just wanted to show you that. So if our second digit is a 1, we know our pretend digit would just be 8. If our second digit was a 6, then we would know that our pretend divisor that we're going to be dividing by would be 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Add 1, so it would be 9. Okay? Now, like I said, we're not working with any numbers that big today. But I just wanted to show you that it doesn't matter how big your divisor gets. What we have learned the other day and today will never change, okay? No matter how big that divisor gets. All right, so open your math books, please, to page 21. Put your name and date at the top, and you may pause the video while you do that. So on page 21, we are going to begin with section 1, letter A. All right, so let me get my problem written on the board, or wrote on the board. 5,694 divided by 78. So I look at my second digit. My second digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, or above 4. So I know I'm going to add 1 to my first digit. 7 plus 1 is 8. So I put my 8 at the top. So now I'm going to say, I can't really deal with those 78 times tables, so I'm going to go to my pretend divisor 8, and I'm going to say how many times can 8 go into 56? Now we know 8 can go into 56 7 times. So now we have to stop and think a moment. 7 times. But can 78 go into 56? It cannot. But can 78 go into 569? Yes, it can. So our 7 will go above our 9. So we have now estimated, we have now divided, and now we are ready to multiply. 7 times 8 is 56. We put 6 down. We carry the 5. 7 times 7 is 49. Plus 5 is 54. So we subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3. 6 minus 4 is 2. Is 23 smaller than our divisor 78? It is. So we bring down our next digit, which is a 4. Now we're going to go back to our pretend divisor. How many times will 8 go into 23? 8 times 2 is 16. So we'll try putting the 2 up there. 8 times 2 is 16. Put 6 down. Carry the 1. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. So let's subtract. Let me see, we have to go next door and borrow from our 3, make it a 2, put a 1 in front of our 4. So now we have 14 minus 6 is 8. We can't say 2 minus 5, go next door and borrow from the 2, make it a 1. So now we have 12 minus 5 is 7. So we have multiplied, we've subtracted, we have compared, and we brought down. So here, we did it again, we multiplied, subtracted, but we have to compare. Is 78 smaller than 78? It is not. And it has to be smaller. So that tells us, we have a problem. But look guys, if this is 78, and it's not smaller than 78, then we just have to come back up here to our 2, and we just have to make it a 3. Okay? So we are going to erase all of our little things where we borrowed. So we have 234, look at the board where I erased, 234. We're going to erase our 78 and our 156 from where we multiplied, 2 times 78. Now we're going to come up to our 2 in our quotient, and we are going to make that a 3, and this is going to work out perfectly without a remainder. 3 times 8 is 24, put 4 down, carry the 2, 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 is 23. So our quotient is 73. All right, so let's look at the next one. We have 7,656 divided by 29. So we look at our second digit. Our second digit is a 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. That tells us we have to add 1 to our first digit, so our pretend divisor will be 3. Okay? So how many times will 3 go into 7? It'll go in there 2 times, but we have to stop and think. We have to go to our real divisor now. Can 29 go into 7? No. But can 29 go into 76? Yes. So our 2 will go above the 6. Okay, now we're ready to multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. Put 8 down, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus our 1 we carried is 5. So now we are ready to subtract. Can we say 6 minus 8? Nope. So we're going to cross out our 7, borrow from it, make it 6, and put a 1 in front of our 6, making it 16. So 16 minus 8 is 8, and 6 minus 5 is 1. We have to compare. Is 18 smaller than 29? It sure is. So we bring down our next digit, which is a 5. And we're going to say how many times will 3, we're back to our pretend divisor, go into 18? Well, 3 will go into 18 6 times, right? So we'll put our 6 up here, straight above the 5, because that's the number we brought down. And now we're ready to multiply. 9 times 6 is 54. We put 4 down. We carry the 5. 2 times 6 is 12, plus our 5 we carried is 17. So we subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. 8 minus 7 is 1. Is 11 smaller than our divisor 29? Yep. So we bring down our last digit, which is a 6. And now we're going to go back to our pretend divisor. How many times will 3 go into 11? Well, 3 can go into 11, 3, 6, 9, 3 times. So we put our 3 at the top. And 9 times 3. Well, let's watch this, guys. Let's watch what's going to happen. 9 times 3 is 27. Put 7 down. We carry our 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. We subtract. 6 minus 7, we can't do it. We borrow from our 1, making it 0. Now we have 16 minus 7 is 9. We can't say 0 minus 8. We borrow from our 1, make it 0, put our 1 in front of our other 0, and now we have 10 minus 8. Is it smaller than our divisor? It is not. So that tells us we have to make our number in our quotient up here larger. We can go ahead and change that to 4. Come down here to the bottom, erase your 29, erase your 87, because that's what we got when we multiplied 29 times 3, which didn't work. Okay, erase your 0, so you have 1, 1, 6 from when you subtracted. Okay, so here we go. 9 times 4 is 36. We put 6 down. We carry our 3. 4 times 2 is 8, plus our 3 we carried is 11. So 116 minus 116 is 0. I think you can see how very important it is not to skip the compare step. The compare step will let you know that something up here is not correct. So always compare and make sure that once you subtract, that answer is smaller than your divisor, always. So let's look at letter C. We have 2008, and we are dividing it by 36. So we look at our second digit, it's 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, so we're going to add 1 to our digit in front of it, making our pretend divisor 4, okay? So how many times will 4 go into 20? Well, we don't know that to go in there 5 times, but we have to think. We have to really divide by our real divisor. So going back to our real divisor, can 36 go into 20? It can't, but can it go into 200? Yes, it can. So our 5 will go above that second 0, straight above. Now we're ready to multiply. 6 times 5 is 30. Put 0 down, carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15, plus our 3 we carried is 18. Now we're ready to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. We can't say 0 minus 8. Go next door and borrow. 10 minus 8 is 2. So we have 20. Is 20 smaller than our divisor, 36? Yes, it is. So we are ready to, sorry, I gotta get me some air blowing in here. So we are ready to bring down our next digit, which is an 8. So we're going to say again, how many times can 40 go in, or how many times can 4 go into 20? And that is not going to change. It's going to be the same 5 times. We put our 5 straight above the 8 because that's the digit we brought down. 6 times 5 is 30. Put 0 down. Carry the 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus our 3 we carried is 18. We subtract. 8 minus 0 is 8. We can't say 0 minus 8. Go next door and borrow. 10 minus 8 is 2. Is 28 smaller than our divisor 36? It is. Is there anything else to bring down? Nope. So 28 is our remainder. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and erase this. If you need to get anything else off of the board onto your paper, you can just pause the video for a second and go ahead and do that, okay? All right, so now let's look at letter, let's see, that was just letter E. Let's look at letter D. So our dividend is getting a little bit bigger, but that doesn't change the process. It doesn't matter how big the numbers get, as long as you know the process and how to apply it, which you guys do because you are so amazing, then those numbers can get as big as they want to make them because you've got this, okay? So we look at our second digit in our divisor. It is a 7. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. We add 1 to the first digit, and that will be our pretend divisor, 8. Okay, so we're going to say, how many times will 8 go into 43? Well, 8 times 6 is 48. Too big. 8 times 5 is 40. So we're going to put a 5 up there in our quotient, but we have to figure out where. We have to think. Our real divisor, 77. Can it go into 43? No. Can it go into 436? Bingo, that is where our 5 will go, above the 6. All right, 7 times 5 is 35. We put 5 down, carry the 3. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 3 is 38. We subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. We borrow from our 4 and make it a 3 because we have to borrow here. 13 minus 8 is 5. We compare. Is 51 smaller than 77? It is. So we bring down our next digit, which is a 3. And we're going to go back to our pretend divisor, 8. How many times will 8 go into 51? 8 times 6 is 48, so let's try that. Put our 6 straight above our 3 because that's the digit we brought down. Notice my nice straight columns. 7 times 6 is 42. Put 2 down, carry the 4. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 4 is 46. We subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1. We have to go next door and borrow for our next problem. 11 minus 6 is 5. We compare. Is 51 smaller than 77? It is, so we bring down our next digit, which is a 2. We go back to our pretend divisor. How many times will 8 go into 51? 8 times 6 is 48. So let's put our 6 up here again above the 2, because that's the digit we brought down. 7 times 6 is 42. Put 2 down. Carry the 4. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 4 is 46. We subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. We can't say 1 minus 6. Go next door and borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5. Is 50 smaller than our divisor 77? Is there another number to bring down? Nope. So that is our remainder. Remainder 50. Okay? Now I want you guys, well, let me go ahead and do letter E with you, and then you guys are going to do letter F by yourself, okay? Letter E, if you notice, our dividend has got even bigger. But does that matter to us? No, because everything is still the same. We just do the process a few more times. 648,912 divided by, what do we have? 88. So we look at our second digit, it is an 8. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So we know we have to add 1 to our first digit. So our pretend divisor will be 9. So we're going to say, how many times will 9 go into 64? Well, 9 times 5 is 45, 9 times 6, 54, 9 times 7, 63. So let's try a 7. So we have to come back to our real divisor. Can 88 go into 64? No. Can it go into 648? Yes. So we're going to put our 7 above our 8. 8 times 7 is 56. We put 6 down. We carry our 5. 8 times 7 is 56. Plus 5 is 61. So we subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. And 4 minus 1 is 3. Is 32 smaller than our divisor 88? Sure enough. So we bring down our next digit, which is a 9. So we go back to our pretend divisor, because I'm not messing with an 88 times table. Our pretend divisor, 9, how many times will 9 go into 32? 9 times 4 is 36, too big. 9 times 3 is 27. So we put our 3 up here, above our 9, because that's the digit we brought down. 8 times 3 is 24, we put 4 down. We carry the 2. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 2 is 26. We subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. We can't say 2 minus 6. Go next door and borrow. Now we have 12 minus 6, and that is 6. Is 65 smaller than our divisor 88? It is. We bring down our next digit, which is a 1. How many times, back to our pretend divisor, will 9 go into 65? 9 times 7 was 63, so I think that's where we better head. So we'll put a 7 up there above our 1. Make sure you get your 7 right above that 1. Don't get it over into your 2 at all. We need a straight column. 7, 1, 1, and what we're going to multiply underneath. So 7 times 8 is 56. Put 6 down. Carry our 5. 7 times 8 is 56 again. Plus that 5 is 61. We subtract. We can't say 1 minus 6. We borrow from the 5 and make it a 4. 11 minus 6 is 5. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So we compare. Is 35 smaller than 88? It sure enough is. So we bring down our last digit, which is a 2. How many times, back to my pretend divisor, will 9 go into 35? 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 3 is 27. I think we better go with our 3. We put our 3 above our 2. We multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. Put 4 down. Carry the 2. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus our 2 we carried is 26. We subtract. We can't say 2 minus 4. Cross our 5 out and make it a 4. Our 2 is now a 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. We can't say 4 minus 6. Cross our 3 out, make it a 2. 14 minus 6 is 8. Is our divisor, or is our answer smaller than our divisor? Is it smaller than? No. So, what does that mean? We have to come back up here, make our 3. Instead of a 3, we need to make it a 4. And then we come down here, erase your 88 where you subtracted. Erase 264 where you multiplied, and then fix your numbers back where you borrowed from, okay? So you should have 352